It's Christmas Eve and the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro is ready to host holidaymakers who will be enjoying the exciting festivities. Boasting 3 beaches with the blue flag status, the Metro has promised a safe stay for the tourists who will be visiting. Our reporter Siphosethu Booi joins us now. Sipho, great morning, great to speak to you. You're out on the beach. Talk to us about some of the scenes there.
Hugo, it is definitely a good morning here in Gqeberha, and I must say that just yesterday I wasn't sure if the weather would actually look up as it is currently in Gqeberha, because we experienced a good 40% as far as rain is concerned. And of course we were here this morning watching all the holidaymakers and residents of Nelson Mandela Bay who have made their way to the Hobby Beach. Now Hobby Beach, Humewood Beach, as well as of course Kings Beach have been the beaches that of course have the blue flag, like you mentioned in your intro, Hugo. And I'm just going to ask my colleague to just give you a bit of a shot as far as how the response, as far as, of course, coming and visiting the beach is concerned here in Hobby Beach. Now, this particular beach is not far from many Airbnbs. It's not far from the boardwalk. That is also one of the tourist attractions that a lot of residents in Nelson Mandela Bay, including holidaymakers, come and do their shopping. Now, of course, the boardwalk has been renovated, and it has been now looking more like a mall than normally it was, more of a place where residents as well as parents would take their kids to go and play games and also just spend time with their families and friends. And of course, we spoke just earlier on, Hugo, with one of the holidaymakers who comes from, of course, Johannesburg, and they said that they chose Nelson Mandela Bay this year to come and visit simply because the situation doesn't look quite healthy or clean as far as going back to Durban, as Durban has always been their favorite place where they actually visit for the festive season. So they opted for Port Elizabeth, and they're excited for their stay here. But one thing was a problem for them. It was the issue of the wind. Now, Nelson Mandela Bay is, of course, famous for being the windiest city. It's even called that. So you can imagine for people who are not used to it. And when I asked her if she was actually quite impressed with how it has been so far, and she said it was actually not that bad. And we also met some residents and holidaymakers who come from Spain that we spoke to earlier on, but they were in a rush to do a quick interview, saying that what fascinated them the most was the issue of hearing people speak isiXhosa. They were fascinated by the click that they kept hearing. But joining me now is a guest, of course, Safety and Security Executive Director, Mr. Warren Prince. Thank you for your time, sir, this morning. My first question to you would be the measures that the municipality has put in place with regards to making sure that Nelson Mandela Bay beaches are safe for all the holidaymakers, including tourists who are going to be visiting the area.
Well, we implement a beach safety program that we launched as a pilot, especially this year, with the various neighborhood watches and our Safety and Security Directorate. We deployed about between 30 to 40 ambassadors, tourist ambassadors, who can assist people in identifying where to go, what they need, is there any information that we need to transfer to them. So that is one of the aspects that we focus on. Then also we deployed about 40 what we call reservist traffic officers that will also patrol the beach area that is under the supervision of our Metro Police. And at this stage we have them on bicycles, whether we have them on foot patrol, and they will cover the whole area from Kings Beach up until Pollock Beach, which is in the Summerstrand area.
And of course the issue of many cases, like we mentioned when we spoke off air, was the issue of drunken driving. You noticed a high increase in numbers with regards to that. Take us through that.
Last year we had about 99 arrests for the full season. At this stage it's actually very alarming that we already stand at 80, and that is on New Year's Eve. Now at the trend is going, we're going to pass the 100 mark very quickly, and that is a very alarming concern for me for drunken driving on our roads currently. But we're going to clamp down, and we're not going to stop.
There normally is a huge number of street vendors that normally sit at this line that separates the boardwalk, of course, and the beach. Where did the people go?
At this stage, the vendors, that is another thing. I think they look at where is the people, where's the feet. With the development of the boardwalk, some of them move in there, and then quite a lot of them is at the Kings Beach area, where we actually allocated a place for the vendors, where you can actually see all the stuff that they're selling there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Warren. That was, of course, the Executive Director here at Nelson Mandela Bay for Safety and Security, Hugo, just taking us through to many of the different aspects that we'll be seeing in and around the beach, to all the holiday makers that are still making their way to Nelson Mandela Bay. Hobby Beach, Kings Beach and Humood Beach are the blue flagged beaches that one should come and visit here in Nelson Mandela Bay. For now, I will try and take a deep at the beach and also just meet some holiday makers just to find out which areas they come from visiting Gqeberha. Hugo.
Siphosethu, I appreciate your time. Have a glorious Christmas Eve.